That's all I had to say. Then from there I went to mounts. So I'm going to say no broken, missing spring hangers, no missing or damaged bushings, no missing, loose, or damaged U-bolts or any other mounting secured parts, and no leaks. So that's going to be for the mounting portion. So you're going to go suspension, springs, mounts, and then you're going to go to shock absorbers. So you're going to say shock absorbers are secured, there's no leaks. Okay, that's right there. That's all you have to do for suspension. It gets a little bit more tricky when you're doing Class A with air ride and stuff like that. If you get this side, if you get Class B, you have to tell them the back, leaf springs, since they're not coil springs. U-bolts are important, you have to say that. Up front, you don't have to say that because it's obviously coil springs. So from there, so from suspension, you go to brakes. So yes, I know this truck does not have slack adjusters and push rods, but I just followed the study guide and I went step by step. So I said brakes. After I finished shock absorbers and the mounts and the springs, I said brakes, slack adjuster and push rod. Look for any broken, loose, or missing parts. For manual slack adjusters, the brake push rod should not move more than 1 inch with the brakes released when pulled by hand. You don't have to say that, I said it, but you literally do not have to say that. The guy was itching to tell me that this truck did not have slack adjusters and push rods, but I told him I'm gonna say it anyways because it's how I studied. From there I went to brake chambers. So then I'm gonna see that the brake chambers are not leaking, cracked, or dented and mounted securely. There's no loose or missing clamps. All you have to say. Then you go to brake hoses and lines. You're gonna look for cracks, worn or leaking hoses, lines, and couplings. All you have to say. Look for cracked, worn, leaking hoses, lines, and couplings. All you have to say. From there you're gonna go to drum brakes. So the drum brakes are you're gonna check for cracks, dents, or holes. Also check for loose, missing bolts. Change for or check for anything debris inside or oil, grease. And then if you can, where it's visible, you're gonna say you looked for you know, brake lining, and it shouldn't be dangerously thin or worn dangerously thin. That's all you're gonna say. And then again, you're gonna mention brake line. You have to mention brake lining. If you don't, then obviously you're not gonna get the points for that. And I think this one's calipers. This has brake calipers, so could be wrong. Again, I'm not a mechanic, so, and I know it's basic brakes, but I just don't know that. I know basic things, but brakes was kind of honestly the hardest part of this test for me for some reason. But from there we're going to go to the wheels. So you're going to do suspension. You have to, this is literally the order: suspension, brakes, tires. So the tires, you're going to say, or wheels, you're going to say rims. You're going to check for damages, bent rims, illegal welds, and indicate that the rim is not loose on the wheel. From there you're going to go to the tires, the actual tire. You're going to say tread depth for the front, and the front only, it's 430 seconds. The back is going to be, and every other wheel and axle is going to be 230 seconds, but your steering in the front has to be 430 seconds of tread minimum. All other tires 230 seconds. Tire condition, you're going to check that tread is worn evenly, and you're going to look for cuts or damages on tread of the sidewalls, and also make sure that the valve cap, wherever it is right here, is going to be properly mounted and secured. Make sure it's not missing, leaking, or just worn in any way, and it's not broken or damaged. And then you also have to mention the valve stem cap. So you have to say that there is a valve stem cap present. From there you're going to say how would I check the tire pressure? So what I would say is I would check the tire pressure with a pressure gauge, and it should be 80 psi. Boom. All you have to say. You don't really have to check any of this. This is all hypothetical, making sure you know how to do the walk around. Then you would check hub seals and axle seals. So you would say the hub you would say that I see that the hub, oil, grease seals, and axle seals are not leaking, and if wheel has sight glass, oil level is at a proper operating levels. That's all you would say. From there you're going to go to lug nuts. So you're going to say check that all lug nuts are present, free of cracks, distortion, and showed no signs of looseness such as rust, trails of shiny thread, and make sure all bolts, holes are not cracked or distorted. All you have to say. So if you have spacers or bud spacing, which would believe be in the back, I had a hard time I mean, I'm guessing this is where the spacers would be, so the tires don't rub if you ever get bigger tires and stuff. But for this, you would come to the back, and this is if you got Form B. Again, I didn't even have to step back here on Form A, just on Form B. So you're gonna say that the spacers are bud spacing if equipped. Check that the spacers are not bent, damaged, or rusted through, and are centered with dual tires evenly separated. All you have to do, and then say that you're checking the tires for debris or anything through here. Like, you have to say that, or any foreign objects. Okay, so basically that's what you have to check. Now again, if you have Form A, all you have to do, talk about this with the hood down the front, the windshield, the lights, no leaks. Okay, go through the hood just like I did, replay the video. Then you're gonna go to the suspension, shocks, leaf springs, shocks, or sorry, coil springs, leaf springs. Go through the suspension. From the suspension, the brakes. From the brakes to the tires, lug nuts, all that. Then if you get Form B, so that's Form A, that literally was all I had to do. And then I walked to the back to the coupling system on the trailer, which I'll go over here in a second and show you. Okay, but that was Form A, then walk back to the trailer. Form B, so I didn't take Form C, but Form B, what he said was everything from this crack that way was what I had to describe. So the first thing, obviously I didn't pass this test, so I don't really know what I missed, but I know I got this part right. You just say the mirrors properly mounted and secured, not loose, no missing bolts, mirrors not cracked or damaged. And then I opened the door and I said the door is properly mounted and secured, all hinges are intact. And then I lifted up on the door because I've read somewhere that you have to do that, make sure the door's not loose. Catwalk or step, I said that, properly mounted to the truck and secured, no missing bolts. It's all really just saying the same thing. Okay, so but when you're on the side of the vehicle, they give you a, not a cheat sheet, but they give you a document which I'll upload. But basically this is going to be your CDL vehicle inspection memory aid, and they're going to give you this. I don't really want to share all this right yet because I don't want to get in trouble for sharing it, but I'll kind of make my own, and then then you guys can use it. But basically what it's going to say is it's going to say steering, axle, suspension, brakes, tires, what we just went over. Driver door, so you're going to go to the fuel area. So you're going to make sure that this cap is properly mounted and secured, opens and closes. Cap is on the DEF fuel. Diesel doesn't have a cap, but it's good. You're going to go under the vehicle. So when you get test B, you have to say under the vehicle, drive shaft, properly mounted and secured, not broken, bent, or damaged, no missing bolts, no leaks, stuff like that. You have to say that. And then you're going to go to the exhaust, which I actually have a paper that says exhaust on it. So let's say so the let's take this one. So the exhaust, you're going to say check system for damage, signs of leaks such as nuts, carbon soot. Exhaust system should not have cracks, holes, or severe dents. System should be connected tightly and mounted securely. Oh, you have to say it. Boom, you got points. Okay, for that part, so that's going to be your exhaust system. So it says drive shaft, so under the vehicle, drive shaft, exhaust, and then you have to talk about the frame. So again, this is test B. This is what you have to do. Like I said, mirrors, doors, DEF fuel cap, gas cap, catwalk. Under the vehicle, you're going to have to do the drive shaft, exhaust, in the frame. So the frame, you're going to look for cracks, broken welds, holes, or other damage to longitude, frame members, cross members, box, and floor. Done. So that's going to be under vehicle. Okay, that's going to be your side test. So when he says you got Form B, you literally, like I said, come down everything past this door crack on. This door lifted up. Oh, sorry, I forgot to say the seals. Make sure all seals are intact in the door, no missing, no broken, torn, excessive wear on them. And you're gonna come down, say under there, the drive shaft, exhaust, And then the frame, this, make sure it's operable or operating. Okay. From there, that's when he's going to take you to the back and say, okay, inspect the coupling device. So you're going to say the truck. So this part I kind of just winged. So I have a pintle hitch right here. So what I said for the trailer, and I just memorized all this rope. And I memorized it. I know I'm using it now. It's because my brain is tired. But I just said everything's properly mounted and secured to the truck. No missing bolts, no missing cotter pins, and the hitch is properly mounted and secured. You're going to want to talk about these bolts right here. You're going to say no missing bolts, no missing screws, stuff like that. And you're also going to want to talk about it connected to the trailer as well. The first test I took, the guy didn't give me points for that because I didn't talk about the actual trailer. I just talked about the truck. You're going to make sure the lever on whatever coupling system you have is properly mounted and secured, not broken, not loose, and then no missing safety pin. You're going to want to say that. Chains, you're going to say all safety chains are connected properly, no missing runaway brake or runaway chain or whatever that is, or runaway line or wire. Properly mounted and secured, not tangled, not damaged. And then so I have electric brakes, so I'm going to say my electric brake system is properly in place, no tears, cuts, frays inside my wire, yeah, installed correctly. That's really all I said for that part. And then that is going to be, from what I remember, the entire outside of the vehicle.